This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
What's up everyone, my name is Sara Dietschy, rhymes with Peachy. If you're new around here, today we are doing a 2-in-1 comparison. So these are all 13-inch 2-in-1 laptops, while the Yoga C940 is technically a 14-inch. This is the Dell XPS 13 2-in-1, the latest and greatest edition. I have a full review of that on my channel. And this is the HP Spectre that is over a year old. It has the 8th gen, but I'm gonna talk about it like this is the latest and greatest. I just didn't have time to get my hands on one. Picture this as the one with the 10th gen, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD, like all of these. I used to not be the biggest fan of 2-in-1s, and oh my gosh, that has changed. It has developed to where there's better apps on the Microsoft Store, to where it's really replacing my iPad. And for this video, I bought the $100 Dell pen, so we're gonna check this out for note-taking. But for the times where I just wanna actually write something down, it's really the only reason why I use the iPad, and so the fact that I can do that on a same system where I can edit in Premiere, edit my pictures in Lightroom and Photoshop, and have all of those touch capabilities, guys, I'm a fan. 2-in-1s have matured. They've gotten super thin, super easy to carry around. Oh, I forgot about this. That's the first time that Dell has ever had a pen that is actually magnetic and sticks on the side of the laptop. I wouldn't have lost this multiple times if I knew that. Oh wow, that is just oddly satisfying, isn't it? This is a good looking laptop. Okay, I'm getting off topic here. Something I really enjoy about the Yoga is it has the pin built in to the back here. So you pull it out, boom. It's obviously way smaller than this, and we'll get into the disadvantages of that, but very cool that you will never lose this pin. No, no, no. Let's talk about prices for almost the same exact specs. So it's gonna be 512 gigs of SSD, 16 gigs of RAM, and the 10th gen i7. The Yoga is the only one that actually doesn't come in a 512 SSD, but you either go 256 or 1 terabyte. So this is 1 terabyte SSD. And the prices come out to be $1279 for the Spectre. We got $1319 for the Yoga C940. And then the XPS 13 is $1649, which, ooh, we're getting a little pricey up there. Did I tell you this is my favorite one though? Oh. So these do not have dedicated graphics, and also the processor, again, is that mobile 4-core processor. So I'm not recommending these to be your go-to laptop for heavy-duty video editing, heavy-duty gaming. I said duty so many times, heavy-duty. But what these have done really well for me is bridge that gap from the powerful desktops I have at my office, at the apartment. I have really been gravitating towards these on the go, on the airplane, because I can actually edit. And it's not a behemoth of a laptop, super easy to travel with. And then I also think of the student who maybe can't afford, you know, 2 different computers, a laptop on the go and a desktop, but this has really great basic content creation abilities. And also, because it's the 2-in-1, you can do your note taking, you can get fancy in classes. Stay in school, but drop out if you want. Yeah, even adults with jobs take notes. So I'm trying to do the thing, but I can't. See, look how cool this is, that I'm just touching the screen, scrolling throughout my Google Doc. And if those prices seem a little too steep for you and you're not, you know, wanting to be in Premiere or Lightroom or Photoshop a lot, and you just need a 2-in-1 web browsing, note-taking computer, I would definitely recommend maybe the older versions of these, and maybe go for the i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and those get below the $1,000 price point really, really quick. Okay, let's get into specifics. The Yoga C490. I've done reviews on each of these, but this is the new one, and I'm enjoying it. I love the keyboard and mouse on this guy. I mean, the traction is good. It's not too loud. The keys are spaced out really well. And the trackpad, you're not accidentally like right-clicking things. Trackpads are good on Windows PCs now. It's fantastic. So definitely my favorite keyboard and mouse combo. And hey yo, let's just talk about the speakers really quick, because they rotate as your computer rotates. So if you're in tablet mode, then you're still gonna get a great sound experience. It's not stuck in the back of your computer. and then that also transfers over to tent mode if you're sitting there watching some Netflix. This display is a full HD 16:9 display, 400 nits, which is 100 underneath this XPS. So it does great in daylight. It's just a little less bright, a little less vibrant than the XPS. I love the port situation. We have one USB-A as well as two USB Thunderbolt with a headphone jack. Hello again. The pin in the back, sign me up. I love it. And the pin is super tiny and it doesn't make for an enjoyable note-taking experience, but I love that you will never lose it.
I keep deleting by accident.
And all of these computers are USB-C charging and also have a fingerprint ID. I'm a fan. I like this 2-in-1. I really do. But I didn't notice any noticeable lag in Google Chrome, in Lightroom, or Premiere. Let's move on to the Dell XPS because this is my baby. I've been using it so much. It's such a good size. You know, this Yoga is a 14-inch and it is super thin, but I feel like this XPS 13 really hits the sweet spot of size. It doesn't have a lot of bezels when it comes to the display, so all you're getting is really just the computer here. I mean, that's some extra real estate with that Yoga, yeah? Interesting, they both have that tapered edge. Before I dive more into the Dell XPS 13, which is actually my favorite, thank you so much Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and I'm actually gonna kick it to a podcast I did with my friend Adam for a little Squarespace fun.
I'm here with Adam. We are co-founders of Switchboard, which is something you will see very soon in 2020. So he's a smart genius programmer, right? And I'm more of the creative type, but we're gonna come together and use Squarespace, of course, because I use it for my personal website and I love it because it's so easy. These startups, they have such slick, clean websites, and I'm sure they spend so much money on it. I think we can get pretty similar to a slick and clean website with literally just using Squarespace. And if you want to do the same, you can use my code. Go to squarespace.com/saradietschy for a free trial. And when you're ready to sign up, you can use my code saradietschy and save 10% off. Let's go to the templates. Popular designs. No, I like clean too. And I think our final look, spoiler alert, is going to be black and white with pops of color when we want to. So I think
get the accents right.
I mean, these are clean, right? This is kind of how my my page is laid out, where I want to show the brands that I've worked, because people love visual stuff. It's easy to click on and easy to get an idea of who you are and what you do. Look, they added another section, blogs and podcasts. And see, look, you can preview what it looks like on different devices. Oh, look at your puppy.
Dog. Yeah, I mean.
Look at your puppy. Let's just demo this one for fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just a website of puppies. Oh, launch pages. Wait, I think this is what we need. All of these are beautiful. It has the email thing ready.
Yeah, that's good.
This
so
is...
I feel like we still need that front and center.
You can buy a domain on Squarespace if you don't have it. So domains, websites, online stores, analytics, and all in one platform. So check it out, guys, squarespace.com/saradietschy. Thank you, Adam, for being a part of this. Back to the laptop video.
Okay, this XPS 13, what a beautiful computer. I love this carbon fiber, it feels so great. The only downside is it's smudgy. Maybe we should start with the bad points about this computer, because I have lived with it for 3 months now. Some things have definitely stood out as I seek them, you know, because I look at the reviews, I see what people are struggling with, because I know sometimes there's bad apples, right? When you're manufacturing anything, we've seen it with MacBooks, really any type of computer, there's gonna be issues. And a lot of people say, hey, we still have the coil whine with these XPS computers. And I've never noticed that on my XPS 15, but this 13 was the first time I ever noticed it, and I didn't until I really listened for it. It was super quiet in my apartment. I didn't have headphones in, and I could just hear it. But yes, it's still there occasionally. I've maybe noticed it 4 to 5 times in the span of 3 months. You do have 2 USB-C ports, Thunderbolt 3 with a, just a little random micro SD card slot. It is so unfortunate that this doesn't have a USB-A port. Even with this HP Spectre, on the new one, they made it even thinner, but they kept the USB-A port, even though they had to make this like fancy new contraption in order to do so, which respect HP. Respect. I wish I could still have a USB-A on this. I am so against dongle life. You guys know that. I'm sorry. I don't believe in dongle life. The XPS 13 definitely has the loudest fan, but maybe that's because it actually performed the best when we talk about Premiere, and also Lightroom and Photoshop. Huge fan of the 16:10 display, so you have a little bit extra vertical real estate than these laptops, and it really shows when you're trying to edit in Premiere. Having any help with that is really great, because it's really difficult to really immerse yourself in a video edit on a tiny laptop. So it's 500 nits and HDR. So in the comparison, you can see here with some Netflix and just the display in general, it's a really bright, vibrant, beautiful display, and it's my favorite out of all of these.
I think they'd have preferred a nice pink-faced Smart Crisp as a grouse more in the Scottish borders.
Must you really smoke? You know how I hate it.
Do tomorrow. Ooh.
Oh,
That's
so loud.
nice, yeah.
He walks off with the teasing
Whoa!
You too?
Whoa,
The naval officer's
Lenovo.
stag line. Chance would be a fine thing.
When the yoga started playing, holy smokes, the speakers are so loud and so good, and they don't rattle. That was very impressive from the yoga. And then the XPS is definitely the worst in terms of audio straight from the computer. There's a little bit of rattling.
I talked about this in the beginning. What makes this great is this pen. So it's new, it's $100, very comparable to the iPad pen, and it's very accurate, it's pressure sensitive, better for you creative folks if you actually utilize the touchscreen. I always do when it comes to editing pictures and maybe lightening up someone's face using the brush in Lightroom, or selecting things out for a thumbnail. This is definitely my favorite pen experience out of all of them. But kudos for HP for including a full-on pen. When you buy the Spectre, it's like full size, but it's not magnetic. I don't know, I just like this one better. Okay, let's briefly talk about the HP Spectre, because I'm a little bummed I don't have the brand new one. This is 2 generations behind in terms of the processor. I have an 8th gen i7 in here, but this will give a good comparison to actually how much these computers have improved in 2 generations. So here's an example of Premiere exports, a 1080 timeline. We got some color grading on top of it, some general effects, and you can see those export times, woo! Yeah, way slower on this guy. And in terms of just handling 4K footage and anything outside of your typical H.264, it's just not gonna handle it. But let's talk about the newer Spectre. It has everything that these computers have, 10th gen i7. You can spec it out well, and it's definitely the best in terms of price point. If you're looking for the biggest bang for your buck, you're gonna get it with the Spectre. In the new version, they have shrunk these bezels. Thank God. Look at these bezel chunks. It's bad. It's very bad. And then they've also updated the trackpad with Microsoft Precision drivers. So those were my 2 complaints on my review of this guy. The trackpad is still not my favorite though. You can change the scrolling directions now that you have the Microsoft Precision drivers. Now, in terms of the action of the keyboard, it is good, the action, but if you can tell, the keyboard is actually off to the left. The spacebar actually isn't in the middle of the laptop. So every time I go to type on this, my hands literally are off 1 key to the right. The speakers on this are fantastic, even though the front speakers have shrunken in the new version. So I wonder if they sound as good. That was one of my favorite parts of this computer when I reviewed it. And then over time, this is a good little update for this. The hinge, did you see that? The hinge is just one of the weakest hinges that I've seen. Maybe because the display is heavy, it's a little top. It's just, I don't know. So it has good ports. It has a physical kill switch for the camera. If you're concerned about privacy, you can just switch that switch on. You have 2 USB Thunderbolt 3 and then a USB-A, and then you have the power button on the side. The little cutoffs on the notches, maybe I'm just not the biggest fan of this type of design, but this is the one that I'm least excited about in comparison to the Yoga and the Dell XPS 13. And wow, in a year and a half, huge performance differences. I can confidently say now, if you're shooting in basic codecs like H.264, H.265, the codecs that Intel QuickSync in Premiere can utilize and churn through, you are going to have no problems. I was even going through some 4K footage on these 2 laptops, and it was doing fine. I think a lot of people say, okay, we get it, export times aren't that bad anymore, but how does it actually handle in Premiere? Can you shuttle through it 2 times speed? Can it handle with color grading over the top? And I am here to say that it can. So which one wins? What is the best value, best bang for your buck? If you're going for strict affordability, maybe check out the new Spectre again with the 10th gen processors, but I say the best bang for your buck has to be the Yoga C940, just because, you know, you have the pen built in, super cool. The speakers are so impressive. The 14-inch really is a good sweet spot in terms of size. And for $13.19, you get 1 terabyte SSD with 16 gigs of RAM and also the 10th gen i7. So yeah, I actually really liked this one. But for some reason, maybe I'm just an XPS girl living in a laptop world, but I love this one. This, even though it's multiple $100s more expensive, it's just beautiful. It's so fun to work on. I can do productivity, email, content creation without it skipping a beat. The only thing that I didn't like in the beginning, but I got used to, are these really shallow keys. They're almost reminiscent of, dare I say, the butterfly keyboard on MacBooks, which, ugh, you know, I just hated those. These are a little bit better, but like the butterfly keyboard, you get used to it. And I'm a big fan of the trackpad too. But I would say that the trackpad keyboard combo is probably the best on the Yoga, but just all around 1610 display, the really great pen, and just the joy that comes from using this one wins in my eyes. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions below, because I've spent a lot of time with these types of laptops. I feel like I have so much to say. So I hope this video isn't like 30 minutes, but maybe I can make up for what I didn't say in the comments below. But I think this was pretty thorough, and let me know if you want me to review any laptops coming 2020. Maybe we need to get back to some heavy duty 15-inch content creation laptops. That always gets me excited. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you don't click that link down in the description below, I'm gonna be so upset at you. They're one of the brands that make this possible, so thank you for watching. Shout out to Squarespace, and I'll see you in the next video. Hit that subscribe button, let me know if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay peachy, guys. Okay, bye. Can I reach this camera? Bye.